okay, I have a few minutes. Where do I even begin? What do I do? How do I start conversations? And I was just seriously overthinking it and just like stressing myself out. It was ridiculous. Like I was like, before the retreat was like, I'm going to quit. Like, I can't do it. What am I doing? But, this week, my goal has been to get up in the morning and I like it's not the first thing, but I'll send out my happy birthdays. And then I friend request, 3 to 5 people. And if they've accepted my friend request, then I'll go and shoot them a message and look at their page. Usually I look at their page first and just see if there's any kind of connections or things that we might have. And I send a message and it's nothing Beachbody. It's just like hey, thanks for adding me or whatever. And then the other thing that I do to keep conversations going is anybody who likes or interacts with any of my posts throughout the day, I make that list and then I like send them a message. And it could just be like hey, thanks for liking my post. How's life? Or if it's like somebody who doesn't usually like a post of mine or I don't see any interaction, I've been like, hey, thanks for liking my post. Was there something about it that piqued your interest? Because they never like my stuff. So anyways, that's kind of what I've been doing this week. And like I said, I've had way more conversations going this week than I have in months. So just a couple tips to get some conversations going. Does that work? Does that help you kind of come up with some ideas of things you can do to get some conversations? Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Cool. I don't know what Ashley, she wanted to talk about new team or something. I don't really know. I just didn't feel like we should sit here and not talk about anything while she's getting situated. So do you guys want to say any goods, like highs or lows for them?
Can you hear me?
I can now.
Okay. Okay, wait. Now I got to find out how to get back. Oh, Lord.
Up. Come here.
Oh, are you there?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh. I don't know. I'm not driving. I'm riding. So I decided last week that I was going to do a 7-day water challenge. Just a free group on Facebook just to kind of get conversations started with different people. It has been awesome. We have like 35 people in the group. And every day I post like benefits of water, just tips and tricks. I do like a midday check. People are taking selfies and checking in with their water. We've been doing like different recipes for people that struggle with their water intake. And then they check in every day and I just have them rate themselves 1 to 5. So it's been really good. They've been having really good conversations and I've been talking to a lot of new people through that. So that was helpful this week.
Absolutely. That's kind of what the new group or the free groups are supposed to be for. I found that my most successful free group, was a squat challenge, but I was a little bit different in my free group and I set expectations and I was like, no soda, no fast food. You have to check in and do the challenge every day. And if you do those things, then I will put your name into a drawing at the end of the 7 days for a small prize or gift. And if you don't, then you actually had to like drop out of the free group, which is, I know, a little strict, but if you think about it, it was kind of like preempting them for a challenge group in advance. So the fact that you're having them check in daily for their water is already kind of getting them to the habit of what a challenge group is about. So, something to think about when you run the free groups. It's like the recipes and different groups like that are great, but maybe taking it to the next level and making them actually rate their nutrition inside of that free group is a good idea, kind of like you're doing.
You better put your shin guards on. Put your socks.
Kelly, how was your clean week, your clean group? Did you just finish that?
I did that a couple weeks ago. Can you guys hear me? You can? Okay. I didn't know you could hear me. Sorry. I should have muted myself earlier. I'm in the car with my kids. I did that a couple weeks ago. It was really good. I had like 5 people in it, but it was like a week of Shakeology too. It was good. I put a couple of the people from that in my current challenge group. Unfortunately, they already had Shakeology, so I was like somebody had given the one girl some, and the other one already had some from working with a previous coach.
So I'm going to throw this out there. And Kelly, you've been with me long enough. So you kind of know where we've always struggled between, Mason, I'm on a call. Please stop. I don't know right now. I'm sorry. I'm at my parents', so it's a little crazy for me. But I know we've always struggled, like, what do we do with these people who either don't want to sign up with Shakeology or already have Shakeology, and putting them in our groups, because our overall goal is that we want to help people. And it's not supposed to be about the money and the Shakeology, but it kind of is, because that's how we earn our income. Because obviously we don't do this for free. Like, it's very rewarding, yes, but our time is valuable. So we should be paid for our worth. Well, the coaches last weekend said they actually will charge somebody, like, you come up with your set price, $20, $30, whatever. So if somebody chooses to not do Shakeology, they still have to pay to be in the challenge group. And I thought it was a really interesting thing, because I've never enforced that. Well, I had a girl who was with me for about a year, Nicole Holloman, Kelly, you might recognize the name, who left me to do Thrive. And she reached out to me last week and she was like, hey, I've got to get my fitness back into control. Like, are you running a group anytime soon? And I was like, yeah, I'm actually starting one on the 16th. You know, things are a little different though. It will be $30. I go, it's no problem that you're not doing Shakeology, but it will cost $30 because, you know, my time is valuable and I don't do this for free, unfortunately. And she was like, I completely understand. Let me think about it. And I've checked in with her every day, and I'll check in with her before group and see what she wants to do. But it's like sticking to my grounds. I had another one who ordered 21-day fix on Amazon. She's a customer underneath me. She ordered Shakeology in July, but she said she didn't want to wait for shipping. And I was like, if you did the all access, you're not waiting even 2 days for Prime. You're getting it right now. And I just told her, I said, you know, if you don't send that back and order from me, it will be $30 to join my group, because I coach for my customers, not for Amazon's customers. And she was like, but I bought a bag of Shakeology from you. I go, you bought one bag of Shakeology in July. He's like, well, I still have some. And I go, well, when you order another one, then you don't have to pay it. But like, what do you want me to do? So anyways, there's Ashley. I'm going to let her talk.
Thank you. Sorry, it's like total chaos over here. Like I've been sick, like with a cold, and then Avery, like at 2 a.m. just comes. We're at Luke's parents right now because it's bow season and everybody's hunting. And at 2 a.m. she comes running in and she's like covered in barf. And I'm like, are you serious? Like, no. And it's just been, I've been up basically since 2 a.m. So it's, yay, coffee. But, you know, hashtag mom life. Here we go. But anyway, yeah, so I did a little recorded call the other night. If you guys got a chance to listen to it, I shared a little bit about leadership last weekend, and I have a notebook full, and I know Michaela does too, of we both we never were really in the same training, and kind of intentionally, but kind of like just because some of the stuff she could benefit more from and some of the other stuff I could benefit more from. And it just worked out really well, because I feel like we got a ton of information to bring back to you guys and share with you guys. And to be, you know, one of 60 coaches invited to this leadership retreat, you know, with the top coach in the entire company, just was such an amazing experience. And we kind of decided at the end of this retreat that you don't have to be one of Melanie's personally sponsored coaches, or you don't have to be one of the top coaches on the team, that you can be a coach, you know, in her downline, and you can be working your business and advancing your business and making things happen, and can be invited to go next year. So that's something kind of that I wanted to bring back too, is that if this is something that interests you, like, take some action. Let's do this together. Let's build for this so you can be there next year. And I want you to know, like, whenever you bring new coaches in, that this is an incentive that they can have too. That, you know what, like, here are some perks of being a part of the #1 team in the network. You get to attend this awesome leadership retreat if you rank advance your business and you are committed and you're serious. You know, this is something that I want everyone to be able to offer to our downline if you're willing to do the work for it. And I was just talking with my mother-in-law this morning about this business in general, and how it's not always easy initially to like, okay, I'm going to invest that $140 or $160 or whatever it is. But in the grand scheme of things, when you think about this, like Melanie makes 70 grand a month, like from a $140 challenge pack, like 70 grand a month is absurd. And when you think about that, like she was never on Facebook. She started with 214 friends. She didn't have an Instagram account. Like she didn't know anything about this business. She wanted to do Insanity. She actually borrowed it from a friend. Her coach made her buy a challenge pack if she wanted to join her challenge group. And she told her no for 6 months. And then when she did it and she lost, 37 pounds or whatever it was, she was like, oh my gosh, wait, I can help other people do this and make some money. And her first motive was they needed money for Christmas. So she said, if I sell 5 challenge packs this month, it'll give me an extra $250 and we can pay for Christmas. And that was her goal. And she did it. And she has been in Success Club ever since. And now she makes 70 grand a month. Like that just, for me, like that just makes my brain explode when you think about it. Because it was a $140 investment. And I think, we take it lightly that this is a legit business. Like this is something that you can potentially, and it doesn't have to be 6 figures. It doesn't have to be 70 grand a month. It can be, you know what, I just want to pay for my childcare every month. Or you know what, I just want to pay my car payment every month. But to know that just that little snippet of, money out front, which I know sometimes when we talk to people about coaching, they're like, I don't really want to blah, blah, blah. But when you think about the grand scheme of things, like if you could potentially make $1 million business, what would you invest to do it? Like, what do you think it would take financially for you to invest to do that? Most people would say, well, I'd probably have to, hire a loan officer and do, a $250,000 loan and buy a storefront and try to do this, or maybe open a restaurant. And you think about things like that. And even then you're underground, you're in the red for the first 3 years of your business anyway. So I just think about that with this business, that even if you're brand new or you haven't really started or you don't really know, you haven't found your footing yet, it doesn't matter, because you can take the next month, the next 6 months, the next 6 years, and do it however you want to do it and make it however big or small you want to do it. And there are the tools and the resources to do it. We asked Melanie quite a bit this weekend about what are some things you've invested in as far as trainings and stuff. And she's like, well, yeah, I've invested a little bit here and there. She paid the $1,000 for Chalene Johnson's marketing academy. She never used it once. She paid such and such for some other training. She never used it once. She's like, I YouTubed everything. I figured it out. I had to YouTube it, and I didn't pay for a thing along the way early on when she couldn't afford it. And I think that's great. I think there's, myself, Deidre, anybody in our upline can potentially try to give you all of the information that you need, but ultimately it's going to be up to you and what works best for you, because there are different things that work for different people. And you kind of just have to find your groove. We had talked a little bit about dragging people along the way. And I know we all have challengers that we feel like we're dragging, and we're like, oh my gosh, why do I have to check in with you 6 times a day? Why are you not showing up? Why are you not checking in? Why are you, and I talked a little bit about it on the call the other night about controlling the controllable. And there are going to be a million things that happen working our business, running our challenge groups, that we're not going to be able to control. And ultimately, at the end of the day, it comes down to you being able to say, did I win the day? Did I make the choices? Did I do the things that I needed to do to move my business forward, to take care of my own personal health and wellness and brain and, all of those things? And if not, what got in the way, and what can I do to make sure that I can win the day tomorrow? So I didn't have a ton of leadership stuff I wanted to cover, because I wanted to talk about the direction of our team today. And I just want to give Michaela a big shout out for kind of taking charge a little bit this morning and talking about some things that she had from leadership and just, all of that stuff. So thank you, Michaela, for doing that. I totally appreciate it. But I kind of want to go with the direction of where our team is going, because I have some pretty big goals, and I've had some pretty big goals for a while. And I just feel like I can do a little bit better of a job with leading our team but I don't want you guys to think of it as my team. I don't want you to think of like, hi, this is me and I'm Ashley and I'm going to make all the rules and I'm going to do all the things and you have to do what I say, because that's not how it is. And I never, ever want it to be like that. Am I cutting out? Can you guys hear me? Am I good? Yeah. Okay. Okay. So a couple things. We had our little mini retreat a few weeks ago, and where we had big goals to get a lot of things accomplished. What we really did was just like hang out and connect and have a blast. And I think that kind of epitomizes what this team is about. And yeah, sometimes we need a little bit of, there was a little bit of wine. That definitely is a part of what this team is about. But I mean, who better than to have a bunch of awesome chicks that you can connect with and like, vent about your kids or your life and drink wine and celebrate the fact that you love pizza and tacos and like, just, be a normal person. And then kind of just share things that work for us along the way. So I want to move this team in the direction of a team. And I don't know if it's always felt like that for everyone or if it hasn't, but I want you guys to know that this team, this page, this space, these calls are not just a place that you feel like you need to like, I'm not really sure if that's okay with Ashley if I ask, like whatever you need, this, because we're all here and we're all at different points on our journey, on our business building and all of that stuff. And we have a ton of resources to help us. So whatever it is that you guys need, we are all here to help and encourage and support. And I challenge and encourage any of you when, to reach out or share something that's working for you or talk about, some struggles that you're having and see if you can relate to anybody. And that's so nice to have a success partner or to kind of team up with somebody on the team that you can bounce ideas off of, or, reach out and say, hey, I'm really struggling with some wording on this post. Can somebody help me and tell me, does this sound okay? Does this sound too salesy? Like, what do you think about posting this? Run it by everybody in the team, because chances are like somebody's going to have either some positive feedback or a better way to say something if you're worried that it sounds too salesy, or a conversation that you're struggling with.
Yeah, I'm like a school.
I know. I'm like teacher.
I just wanted to add to that really quick. Last weekend, being with these like amazing coaches, I was like a little intimidated, but I'll tell you what. Most of the coaches were on my level, like in our house. Like some of them had lost diamond rank and some of them were struggling to get it back just like I was. And some of them were 1-star and, but everybody was like talking about the same struggles. Like they all were like, I hate inviting, or I don't have any conversations going, or I don't think that I can do this. And the self-doubt and the negative self-talk was across the board. Like it was literally like, we're normal. Like the challenges that we live day in, day out are like the same thing that the other coaches doing across the country right now. So just to like bring it down, like, yes, there's these amazing coaches that are amazing. We struggle too. Jen Guthrie said at the closing ceremony, I was you 2 years ago sitting on that rug, looking up to these other coaches like, oh my God, like she just said hi to me. She just hugged me. And she's like, it's definitely possible for any of us. And, I just wanted to add, like, we're all struggling just the same. So we might as well struggle together and help each other than to hide behind our own computer screen and struggle by ourselves.
Right.
Okay.
No need to raise your hand. I mean, totally agree with that. And it's, I'm going to share this real quick. So I don't know if you guys know who Alyssa Shoemaker is. She's like a top 10 coach. She's one of Melanie's coaches. I was talking to her the other day about inviting and how I just have always despised inviting. But I know that if I don't do it, like, then I'm not going to have anybody to talk to and I'm not going to build my business. And she said that Alyssa was the same way. And she said her only goal in this business was to get to the point where she could make enough money that she would pay for ads every month so that people would sign up through her ads that she would do. So she would never have to invite. And that's how she recruits her people. Is that pathetic or what? Like, I'm sorry, but like, good for her for getting to a point with her income that she just spends her money on running ads so people sign up through her ads because she hates inviting. And I guess that's one way to do it, but like, that's, that just goes to show you that like there are people at any level that like have their own quirks and likes and dislikes and stuff like that, and are willing to do whatever it takes to make this business work. I personally am not somebody that would spend $1,000 on a month running Facebook ads to grow my business, but I also don't have $1,000 a month that just is floating around that I could, so I don't know. I can't speak to that. But the direction of this team, I am going to be making some changes collectively over the next couple months and kind of transitioning. And I just want to share with you guys the share screen. So this is our new team, Team Raise the Bar. And we are getting rid of Destination Fit. And I am revamping some of our trainings and working on some stuff behind the scenes. But I feel like we need a fresh start. And it's no like just a fresh start. Sometimes I feel like a fresh start is needed. And I personally, in the last year, I may be the same rank as I was when I started the year, whatever. That doesn't significantly matter to me. Yes, I'm pushing for rank. Yes, I'm pushing for volume. Yes, I'm pushing for income. Like those are all things. And if my income continues to rise and my rank doesn't, well, I feel like I'm having success in this business. If I can continue to grow our team and help you guys grow your teams and your businesses, then that's my goal. Like I am not in this for just me and to do this alone. I want to continue to grow an amazing culture of women who continue to help and encourage and support others. So that's kind of what I'm thinking about with our team. 4 of us that were at our little retreat last weekend, we've all known each other through bartending and drinking for years. And so Raise the Bar was something that came to mind kind of in relation to that. But I also think, if there's a time to do it, to personally like raise the bar, it's now, because we're going into a new year and we all know that January 1st, 2018, like everybody's going to be signing up at the gym, or everybody's going to be starting to think, what do I want to do next? I've got to do something different. And if you're not thinking about that next quarter right now, it's time to start thinking about it. And if you're not thinking about where you want to be with your business 12 months from now, it's time to start thinking about it. And I know sometimes those things can seem a little scary and they can be like, oh my gosh, no, I don't know where I want to be in 12 months from now. I don't really know what I want to do. Okay, great. But when you set some small goals, we can get there and we can get there together. So UK launch, I know that seems a little bit out of reach for a lot of us. But what I can tell you is there is a potential market of a ton of people coming in to this business. I don't even know how, guys, I should probably look this up on Google, but I don't even know how many people live in the UK. And it's not just like London, it's like Scotland, and the whole UK is going to be part of this launch. So there is tens of millions of people potentially that we have a brand new reach, and we're not going to stop there. I can guarantee you we'll probably go somewhere like Australia next, or we'll probably go somewhere like France or something. I don't know. I have no idea, but I know that we're not going to stop. I know that we're going to continue to expand, and that just gives you potential to reach more people. There's 10 billion people in this world, and there's 10, I don't even know. I was reading something the other day, but apparently there's tens of millions of people still in the United States that don't use Beachbody and or don't know about it. So, if you think the market is saturated, there's too many coaches out there, start getting rid of coaches on your friends list that you don't really know and or follow. And then you won't see those people on Facebook. And that's okay. I don't want to sound crappy, but if there's coaches that I'm friends with on Facebook and I have no idea who they are, I don't need to be friends with them because I don't need to see their business and stuff. They're doing their own thing. So know that this next year is going to be a huge year of growth for this business. And think about the long term and think about the success that you can set yourself up for, in the next couple months, and start thinking about those, reaching more people and how you can reach more people. I just invested in the Jessie Reagan Facebook like page training. I just hit submit on my payment yesterday, and it was one of those close your eyes and hit send kind of thing, but I've been thinking about doing it for months. And I did that not only for myself, because I need to figure out how to do my like page a little bit better, because it's totally been falling off, but I did that for our team because I want to be able to offer more to you guys as well. And I want to be able to offer that kind of as a reward this month for if you're, in Success Club, if you grow your volume. And I'll put some more stuff out later this week. I haven't really had time to put anything together yet, but I want to do a like page training to help you guys grow your like pages and help you find, winning ads if that's something that you want to know more about, or just social media stuff in general, because that's such a huge part of our business. And Facebook is going more towards business pages as opposed to personal pages, and people's personal pages are getting shut down for people trying to run their businesses on them. I don't want to scare anybody, but I know a really well-known coach who just got her Facebook page shut down not too long ago, and she couldn't post in any of her challenge groups because they shut down all of her messages and stuff like that. So that's something that I want to be able to offer you guys for the month of November. Is I'm going to work through this training this month and get some really good ideas, and then bring that back to share with you in kind of a special group next month for people who have kind of taken your business to the next level and you're ready to take that next step. And that's open. That's going to be open for anybody, but I will put some like little guidelines and stuff. So over the next month, a little bit more of a transition, and then really just focusing on implementing some of the stuff from leadership that will kind of be coming in. So our team calls are going to switch here on Saturdays, and they're still going to be on Saturday mornings. But instead of doing a, this is what we're going to cover today, we're going to focus on our Monday night Dream Team calls, because there is no reason why we can't use that as our weekly training call. Everything that's on those calls, I mean, you guys know, there was one just the other week that I think, Sarah, you were talking about it. It was like she had everything laid out there that was so amazingly helpful. And it was like, this, if you don't listen to anything else this week, just listen to this, and I'm not saying that I don't want to do our Saturday morning calls. I want our Saturday morning calls to be a check-in point for all of us. I want them to be this is how many people I invited this week. This is, how many people I talked to. This is some struggles that I'm having this week. This is what I'm doing this week to move my business forward. This is how I'm going to run my challenge group. This is how I'm helping people, and kind of a daily, weekly check-in. Because if we're not holding ourselves accountable, and we can't collectively hold ourselves accountable, then who is? Because most of the time people fall off in this business because themselves personally aren't staying accountable. You're not staying accountable to your goals or your tasks or your daily things that you need to be doing. But nobody else holds them accountable either. So I think our Saturday calls, we would all benefit a lot more if we had a point to say, all right, like, this is what I'm doing. This is what I've done this week. This is how I'm focusing my next week. This is what I need to do. I need to focus on some follow-ups. I need some help with such and such. And we can spend, 30 to 40 minutes just helping each other grow our businesses. And so I'm going to pull up an old tracker and get that posted back in our page. So if you need a tracking system to start tracking your conversations, do it. Use it. I can't say enough about you can't use Facebook Messenger to track your conversation, because I'll scroll back, from 8 months ago, and I'm like, I never followed up with that person. I'll go to their page, and they've been posting about their workouts that they probably signed up with somebody else shortly after I didn't follow up with them. And when you try to just use that to track, it's horrible. You have to have at least a notebook or some kind of system. And I'm using a notebook, and I'm using Kelly. Okay, fine. Bye. Happy Saturday. So we've got to have some kind of a system in place. And like I said, it can be as simple as a notebook. And I was going to bring it in here. I don't have it. Like Michaela, just writing names down, putting a check next to them, highlighting who you talk to, and just keeping track that way. So that way, every month. And I like those legal pads that you can get in the dollar bin at Target, and you start a new month. And I started doing that on the plane on the way home from Orlando. And I wrote down like 40 names. And And that was just a start. That was just over the course of the weekend, new people that liked or commented on my post that I've never had a conversation with. And I'm going to start those conversations with, hey girl, thanks for the love. Oh my gosh, we had a blast in Orlando. Have you ever been there? Hey girl, thanks for the love on my fitness post. It totally means a lot to me to have somebody that supports what I'm doing, because it can be pretty hard to stay accountable. What do you do for fitness? What do you do for workouts? And just starting those simple conversations and then building. And I posted in the Emerging Leaders group yesterday about thinking that like we have all these mental roadblocks, and one of them can be, that people are going to say no, and they don't want this opportunity. And I think about myself, and I was already going to the gym. I had 3 kids. I was not in terrible shape. But I didn't have any muscle, and I, wasn't somebody would have just reached out to me and said, hey, Ashley, you look like you need to lose a bunch of weight. Why don't you join my challenge group? I saw Deidre post the opportunity, and I thought to myself, I really would do this. And I was in nursing school, and she's like, I wouldn't have picked you for this opportunity. Like, I wouldn't have hand selected you because you had 3 kids, you were already going to the gym. And I, super busy, and you never know. You honestly never know who can benefit, not only just from a challenge group, accountability, support, but from the coaching opportunity as well. And I feel like we can't discount that opportunity to anybody, because we never know. You never know. Somebody is like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to get a second job. And it's, going to crush me because I'm never going to see my kids. And I, if I could just work from home and just make an extra $300 a month, you honestly never know who could benefit from that opportunity. Or somebody who is working a full-time job and is miserable, and they want to quit their job and they want to replace their income, and they want to do it from home. And even if they know they have to struggle and work hard for a year, they're going to do it anyway. So why not at least have the conversation, because you never know where it's going to go. And if they're a no, then you can always say, awesome, would you be interested in maybe next month I can follow up with you? Or can I check back with you at the beginning of the year? I have a really great group starting for January. Or I run a really great sneak peek at the end of the month if you want to jump in. Some of my friends are going to be talking about it. Little things like that, or even just asking, do you know anybody else that could benefit from this opportunity? Because referrals are amazing. And especially if it's somebody who's in another MLM business, hey, I would love to share some of your information with some friends of mine if you don't mind doing the same for me. And that kind of speaks volumes. And then let me just look. I think I had one more thing I wanted to share. Does anybody have any questions or anything? Sorry, I've totally lost most of my voice and I'm just feeling like dirt. Okay. I don't think I do. So team, we're revamping our team. Monday night dream team calls, Saturday morning check-in calls. I will post a tracker, and anybody that has something that's working for them as far as tracking. I know I was going to ask Kelly to share this morning, and we kind of just ran out of time and totally got off track. But I think she's using a personal tracker that she has made. So I'll ask her if she wants to share that in the page. But and I will say one of the coaches, I think it was Jen Guthrie at the retreat this past weekend, she does her inviting and conversations on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. And then she does her follow-ups on the other day, which makes a ton of sense. So if you're somebody that's like, dude, I can't invite 10 people a day. You're nuts. I don't have time to do that every day. Then don't. Then do it 3 days a week. Do it Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and do your follow-ups on the other days. Or carve out 30 minutes where you can sit down and start 15 new conversations. And then just say, hey, you know what? I got to run. I'll get back to you tomorrow. And I'd love to talk a little bit more about this. And not being afraid to leave people wanting more, because when you spark somebody's interest and they're curious, that's awesome. That's great stuff, because then they're going to start following you, and they're going to start following your page, and you're going to start seeing them like your posts and start commenting on your posts. And that's when you say, listen, dude, thanks so much for all the love. I appreciate it. How have you been doing? What have you been up to? How's your life? How's your fitness routine going? And that's when you start to have those winning conversations, because you're building a relationship, you're building confidence with that person, they're, you know, being trustworthy of you, and they're seeing that what you're doing is like a legit thing and not just like some, hey, buy this cheap thing, I'm going to try to help you lose 3 pounds so you can gain it back next week. So I think that's all I have for you guys. And then myself, and I'm gonna put Michaela on the spot here. We'll probably be doing some live videos over the course of the next couple of weeks in our team page, just sharing a little bit about the leadership stuff. And I'll record everything, or I'll do a live video, so that way we can kind of cover everything. I do have a Push to Emerald group starting on Monday. So if you're not an Emerald coach, if you want to push to an Emerald coach, if you want to benefit from the extra week of trainings, if we can get you there, then I will put you in our Emerging Leaders group that we have going on, that goes until the end of the year, and that we're kind of focusing on long-term success. So if you want to spot in that group, I will post about it tomorrow or later today. And we're just going to be working through some simple daily trainings and tasks, and kind of just getting more comfortable with conversations and working on building that next rank. So that way you can start earning income based on volume and not just commissions. You can build a business on commissions, great, but building income based on residual income based on volume is really nice too. So, so that's it. Emerald group. Michaela, you're muted.
I lost the call for a minute. I was like, where did it go? And then it came back, and I thought it wasn't my internet, but I guess it was my internet. I'm excited. I do want to say that, like, anybody like Sarah, I know Kelly's, is Sarah gone too?
I think so.
Okay, then I'll just message them. I just wanted I want us to share our testimonials as far as like coaching and the challenge. Oh, okay, good. Into our team page too. Like, once we switch over to Raise the Bar, I feel like us coaches sharing our story might help new coaches that come in, because the trainings are great and we all kind of do those on our own pace, just because it can be very overwhelming, which is fine, just as long as you do the trainings and you understand and you ask questions. But sometimes us telling our stories just touches people a little bit different than just being put into a bunch of trainings too. So if anyone wants to share their experiences so far, we can do that too in the new page. I know that we had talked about that. So Jessica, are you Kelly's coach?
Kelly's my coach, yeah.
Okay. I haven't met you yet. I'm Michaela.
Hello.
All right. So Ashley, so were you done? Do you guys have any questions or anything that specifically you guys have questions with about, you know?
Sorry guys, I got to run a sick kid, but you can finish up and close out in a minute.
Okay, that's fine. I just was opening up for anybody who might have questions, like any conversations that you're struggling with, or any questions about the back office, or are you guys pretty good on that stuff?
Yeah, I feel like I'm good on like figuring stuff out. It's just like finding the time right now, which I know.
What do you do? What do you do?
I'm a teacher, but I'm also in school working on my master's. So
it's tough. Yeah. It is.
It's summer, and I felt like really good about it. And I'm just like, it's just, unfortunately, it's not like the top list of priorities, and it can't be right now, but I still like want to be a part, and I still want to learn, because, you know, as the year goes on, I'm sure things will slow down, but.
No, and that's fine. And when you feel overwhelmed, it is easy just to say, okay, I'm done. But honestly, like, you would be amazed at what 10 minutes a day could do. Like 10 minutes of just liking posts or friending people or sending happy birthdays and just sharing your story, like sharing your, like, posting. Just make sure you post, make sure you're being real. And honestly, 10 minutes a day can get conversations going. And even if you only get one person to join you a month, that's fine. And just don't put the stress on yourself about it. You know, if you're busy otherwise, it's fine. Like, I work full-time, 2 kids, I'm on the school board and PTF. Like, I get it. Like, balancing everything's tough. I have no intentions of quitting my job anytime soon, but it's like, I literally just tried to make, like, when I eat my lunch, instead of sitting there talking to coworkers, I'm like on my phone sending messages. And, you know, it's a little sacrifice, and I don't do it every day, but, you know, a couple times a week. So yeah, just find what fits for you, and, you know, do what you can, and at least stay a part of the community, because we are a fun group of girls.
And that's why, you know, when I'm available to like be a part of these calls, and I'm still on reading everything, but I just don't feel like I'm really making much progress, but I know that it's what I put into it. So I'm not surprised that I'm not getting a ton of people. Like I haven't, let it be my first priority to do that thus far. So I'll get there.
You'll get there. And you'll find your groove, and you'll be ups and downs. And I'm like almost 2 years in, and I still sometimes think like, what am I doing? But it's good. It's good.
I was going to say too, sorry, I shut my video off just because I'm in a parking garage and it's dark.
Okay.
Jessica, I was going to say too, I teach full time, and I have, my kids, and we're running around like crazy. And kind of like Michaela said, I break things up in my day. Like I don't sit down. I don't have an hour. So I may wake up in the morning and I make sure I post to Facebook. And then around lunchtime or right after school, I post something else. And one of the calls not too long ago, just this past couple weeks, said, if you don't know what to post, create a list of like things that you dislike, things that make you, I don't remember what call it was.
It was me last Sunday. I talked about that last Sunday, didn't I?
I think so. Yes, you did. It was you.
And honestly, they said,
I just have a quick question. How do I turn this to like phone? I got to get in the car and start driving, but I don't want to get off. Is there a way?
You have to dial in the number.
Yeah, you'll have to probably get off and then dial back in and put in the 9-digit number that was in the Destination Fit link.
Yeah. Okay. You don't have to dial back in because we're almost done. But if you ever, just want to message me and chat, I know we're friends on Facebook, feel free. I mean, I can tell you kind of how I lay my day out. It's not fabulous and it doesn't happen every day, but at least I break things up. So if I have 5 minutes, I'm doing something.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I think that's great. Yeah. Reach out to her. You guys are both teachers, so that will help. So have a great day, Jessica. It was nice to meet you.
Yeah. Bye, Jessica.
Bye.
Sarah, you got hockey all day?
I do. We just drove. We're downtown Chicago. So he's got an early game, so we'll be home by like mid-afternoon, so it's not bad.
Oh, that's not bad. There you go.
No.
Did we talk about your daughter? What?
We did not, but Kelly messaged me too. She's like, what is the problem?
What is up with her? Thank you.
She was born with it. We found out in her in her newborn screen. She was 7 days old when we found out, and I got a call from her pediatrician that says we got the newborn screen. I've made you a genetic appointment tomorrow. You need to be there. And I was like, what? Wait, what?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So essentially, it affects her fatty acids in her body. And so like when we eat, our body stores energy, like essentially for if we were to get sick or if we go, and forget to eat or whatever, our body kind of feeds off that for our energy. Her body doesn't do that. So like when she was little, like for the first 18 months, we had to feed her every 3 hours.
Wow.
Yeah. So when they're babies, it's commonly misdiagnosed as sick because their body doesn't wake itself up. Like they just fall asleep. So I'm glad. Like my biggest thing was that she made it through the first 7 days, and I just thought she was a really good sleeper, and I had an awesome baby.
Right.
So once we found out and we, dealt with it little by little, I don't remember the first 3 years of my life because I never slept.
Okay.
Constantly checking on her. Even when we could go like 6 hours, I was constantly like checking on her, and she slept with a SIDS monitor.
Oh, wow.
So but she's fine. Like she is a normal 6.5-year-old. It's just when we just have to make sure she's and she eats like a good balanced diet. And is
she a picky eater, or does she eat good for you?
No, she's a totally picky eater. So, and at this point in her life, it's like kind of figuring out what works for her, but also she struggles with why why can Brady get away with not eating? Like, if he doesn't want to eat what we're having for dinner, I just say, don't. Like, that's your option. You're 10 years old. If you don't want to eat, don't eat. And, you know, so Bree has a lot of questions now, and it's like trying to explain them to her of why she has this and what are genes, why she was born with it, Brady wasn't. And so that's kind of the struggle now, that she has questions because I barely understand it after 6.5 years. And so for her, it's a struggle.
Yeah, that would be tough. That would be tough.
Yeah.
Do you get sorry, Ashley, we're talking about her daughter.
Okay, do you want me to go? Like, I don't want to be nosy or bother you guys.
Oh, no, you're fine.
You're fine.
I didn't know if you were like having a private conversation. I didn't want to come in here.
No.
Hi.
Oh,
I just was asking her about her daughter. So I'm getting ready to feed the kids some breakfast. Speaking of picky eaters, I'm going to attempt to. So I'm going to jump off from here. But I hope you have a good week, Sarah. And
Thanks,
Ashley.
you guys too.
All right. We'll see you guys.
Ladies.
Bye.